Welcome, Hilda. Welcome.
So my song was supposed to be Girls Just Wanna Have Fun. Who actually remembers that song? Can we please just play it? When I leave, we'll play it. The song. First time. Not the remake.
Cool. So Hilda, I'm going to mix it up a little bit, but after that, girls just want to have fun, and you have something that you always talk about, and that is how to live your best life. So I'm going to go there with you now, and I want to know about how do you go about living your best life.
So I've actually, if you follow me on social media, I talk a lot about best life because I believe every person should really live their best life, and it's important that in order to stop comparing ourselves to other people is to know what is your best life for you. Mine is different to what yours would be, and it's okay, because the minute we live to our own values and we do what we do, bugger what the world is saying about us. So for me, the best life, the formula for best life is you have to create it. So what does it mean? And then what's your strategy to create it? And once you have it, you have to maintain it. So that means a whole different, how you build success and build your business is a very different way on how you're going to maintain it and then how you're going to protect it. So that's the formula. So I really focus on, I've created a level of success up to now. So what is my next level of success that I'm going to create? And by the way, you never get there, because the minute you think you're there, you see something else that needs to be done or where you want to go. And then who's the team that's going to maintain it, and what's the structure that will protect it? And I think if you think about your life like that, you can really everyone can create your best life. And it hasn't always, you're going through the ups and downs and the struggles, but once you know why you're doing it or where you're going, it makes it all worthwhile. I think that's in a short space I can say.
So Hilda, on that, I mean, you're a businesswoman, you're a traveler, you're also a mother of two, and you're a keynote speaker, you're an entrepreneur, and you're also a philanthropist, the word I can never say. So I just want to ask you, how do you juggle all of this? I mean, how do you do this?
And again, I can just tell you what I do. It's hard, and once you get over the fact that it's hard, you can then actually get on. So I plan. I am a planner. I have schedules for everything. And in that schedule, you need to be fluid, that things can still go wrong. So I really learned over the years to be good with my time management. And I think over the last probably year or two, I've learned what to say no to. Because all of us women, we want to do it all, and we just say yes, 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 and eventually we're so overwhelmed with all the things that we do, and you think, oh, what does it all matter? So what I've learned is actually what you say no to that will give you the space to do the things that you want to do and the things that you really enjoy doing. So I have a year plan. I know what I want to, sort of the big picture for the year. I know the big picture of what every month I want to do. And when I plan my month, I put my non-negotiables, which is really, where do I fit, all the aspects of life, the health, the family, and then I fit everything else around that in. Every day of my week, I spend a specific, if I can call it, energy. So Mondays is my left brain, my numbers, my accountants, the fund managers, all of that. I don't have meetings, I don't have conversations. Wednesdays is my creative day. I write on Wednesday, so then the numbers days are over. So I'm just a lot more productive doing it my way when I do specific activities or energies on specific days of the week, and that's where you get a lot done.
Yeah, it's all about the planning, I suppose, to get all of that done.
Planning. And then work the plan. A lot of people spend a lot of time planning, and then they never look at the plan again.
So Hilda, I think it would be important for people to know that you are a wealth partner in our business. So you're a wealth partner of Wealth Migrate, but you're also one of our biggest investors. So you've invested in a number of investment opportunities through our platform. Can you maybe tell me a little bit about how your journey started with Wealth Migrate, and most particularly why you have decided to invest in real estate through the Wealth Migrate
I met
platform?
Scott, I think about 5 years ago, and we started talking about this 1% of women that's in wealth or doesn't have wealth, and I think women is 50% of the workforce, but when it get to the upper levels who actually become really successful, somehow along the line women stop featuring, or 1% actually get there. So we're having these conversations, and how do we make a difference? And you know, South Africa has a lot of problems, but the world has problems. There's about 5 billion people living in informal settlements, and so if you have a house and clothes and food, you're probably one of the few 10% in the world. So we started having these conversations. How do we make a difference, and how do we make? And I purely believe difference comes through business. The structure of business is how you're going to make an impact to the world and the people. And a couple of months later, he phoned me, and I was in LA at that point looking at buying a company. And it's a 9-hour difference. Now he phones me, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning and 4 o'clock, and I keep on like, who phones me? Like, seriously. And then he phones me and he said, I need to speak to you. You know, I said, like, it's like really late or very early in the morning. Can I phone you later? So we started talking. And he then shared me his dream of Wealth Migrate and what did he want to do and how he wanted to use Wealth Migrate as a platform to empower a billion people. And all the stuff that he was talking about, 12% of people has access to real estate investments, and really good real estate investments. And I said to him, I'm on. So I think I was the founder investor of Wealth Migrate many years ago. And it's been really been, and I've been on the board and involved in the company to see how it evolved and how it grew. And well done to everybody at Wealth Migrate for what you're doing. And then through that, obviously, I got to learn about the investments, because we're sitting in meetings discussing these investments. And that's how my Wealth Migrate investment journey in property started. So over the last, maybe now 2017, probably 3-4 years, I've really built up a nice portfolio of international properties. I love getting my dividends every term or every quarter. And that now funds my travels, and like funds, it will be a fund for the children to one day go live wherever they want to live and go study. So now that journey is just, it's really an exciting and interesting journey in the real estate. I wasn't exposed to that. So the guys really taught me a lot, and I think, you know, there was a question from, one of the questions that set me going is, really look at what men are doing without having to compete with men and learn from them, because in real estate, financial, men still do dominate. I hope, and I think it is changing, but if we can learn, emulate, see how they do, and then start doing it, I think you're going to really see the force for change in the world happening.
So a quick show of hands, are there any ladies here today that are looking to start their own business or wanting to kind of think about that journey a little bit?
Who's got their own businesses?
Or who has their own businesses?
Awesome. Who wants to? Wow. Why don't you? Why?
So Hilda, what advice, based on your experience in this field, are you able to maybe share with us?
Experience in what field?
In starting your own business or wanting your own business. How do you go about that journey?
I think that's a big question I need to know. Is if your why is big enough, because business is tough, it's really hard. So you have to have your why. And your why is not, I want a big why, a why that scares you. And then align a business with that, because when times are tough and you're probably not making as much money and it's really gets difficult, that's what's going to pull you through. I, many years ago, started a healthcare company, and my why was I wanted, because I saw people cannot contribute to their lives, to their businesses, to their family, if you feel sick all the time, if you have pain all the time. So I started doing things to help those people, and when it got tough, all I was thinking about was those people that we are helping. And I think if you think about your client, who are we doing this for, and how am I contributing to making it a better place, you'll get through that. But it's tough. And it's also about the team that you bring into your business. But don't be scared. A lot of women are scared to start their own business and have fear. Your fear doesn't serve humanity. Your fear doesn't serve your community. So just try it. And if it's a mistake, then move on. Get up and move on. And that's the second thing you need to learn. A lot of women, when we make mistakes, we beat ourselves to a pulp about it. We go on and on about what a failure we are. Men don't do that. They make a mistake, they get up, they learn, okay, what went wrong, and they move on to the next thing. So when you make mistakes, it's okay. I see in America, they say the quicker you make your mistakes, the better, because the quicker you can get up and move on.
Learn, yeah.
Whereas here, it's almost in South Africa, it's almost everybody fears making a mistake because what are the people going to say? So just make mistakes, get up and move on, learn from it, and do something different. But I think South Africa needs entrepreneurs to create jobs. I think South Africa needs female entrepreneurs and more role models to show other generations and people that it can be done. And it's only up to women that spend their Saturdays here to learn and want to improve themselves that will now go out and then make it the ripples in their lives.
Are there any key, what is your top 3 or even 2 or even 1 lesson that you've learned in female leadership that you can maybe share
Female
with
leadership.
us?
So I think women define leadership very differently to men, and women define success very differently to men. And for me is to see more women become successful and leaders, because that's the only way we will change the world. Otherwise, the world will still continue to be the way men created this world. So women don't necessarily say it the way they want to say it, or they quiet, they sit in the back, so the more, I don't know if anybody reads Sheryl Sandberg's Lean In, is be part of the solution, be part of the conversation, and don't be scared what people are going to say. And what I would like to see is very often, and I think it's changing, but when a woman gets to a senior position in a company or get to leadership, they're very often very hard on other women. And that to me is, I don't understand, because you all know how hard it is. So let's be nice to each other, be nice to yourself and kind to yourself, but be nice to other women. Create that sisterhood that we all need, because leadership or success, if we put it now there, could be a lonely place if you don't have your sisters around you. So, so when you do climb the ladder and you get to a place of success, be an inspirational person that's kind to other women and help them up the ladder.
I think that's quite profound and kind of resonates. It's very true. You need to have that support structure around you. It's very important.
It's actually called the stiletto sealing with another woman down, and I think that I attended a workshop a few years ago, and I discovered that we have to empower each other.
Give each other wings.
Yeah.
It's actually called the stiletto sealing. I attended a workshop a few years ago, but we have to empower other women to not to trample the next woman.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here for. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that sharing. So it's a very powerful. Hilda, can you perhaps explain to us what attracts you to real estate investment through Wealth Migrate? What is it that attracts you and you decide to go that route?
Well, I think there's various attractions in a sense. It's a balanced portfolio. I have it's risky but less risk than a business investment or businesses that will take longer. It's something that's there, and you need to be calculated in what area or what you invest in. But for me, is the balancing of the portfolio into different aspects, where real estate is a class asset or asset class to invest in, and like I said, I actually exited all my directly owned real estate and put the money into a Wealth Migrate, because I don't have to manage the tenants, I don't have to worry about it. that's all taken care of. So that's the easiest way for me to invest in real estate and sort of just collect the quarterly dividends. It doesn't really come easier than that. So that is what attracts me to real estate. And in your asset class, you have a sub-asset class of medical or office blocks. So you need to see what works for you and do the numbers and understand what you want to invest in. That's my strategy. Is I really like medical buildings because I think it's good tenants. Doesn't matter in what economy, doctors will stay where they are, people get sick. So it's a really good a good investment from stability point of view.
Thank you. Hilda, you've got 2 children, and through all of this work that you do, what are those key lessons that you're teaching them through what you do? What do they look up to you for, and you really try and pass that on to them?
So my children's young. They turning 10 and 12 respectively, and so it's really just a conversation. At their age, they still learn. They learn. So children learn what they see their parents do, not what you tell them to do. So you can't sit on the couch and tell someone, hey, you got to start your own business, or hey, you got to give some of your money back, but meanwhile, or save your money, but you're out there spending like there's no tomorrow. So children really learn. That's what they learn, just what the role models in their lives do. So for me, it's to be really aware and conscious what I'm teaching them, the conversations I do. And because I'm a single mom, so there's no work in life, that's just how. So when we do online meetings with America, they will often sit in the room and listen to the conversation, and then afterwards and say hi to everybody, and afterwards they'll say, well, what did this guy mean by that, or what does this mean? So it's a lot of conversation about, and through that my aim is that they can start creating awareness for themselves and start asking themselves, what do I want to do? How do I want to make a difference to the world? And when we do charity work, they need to understand that the whole world doesn't live like this. There's people that stand in line for food, and which they were about, I think, 8 years old. I took them on Meals on Wheels, and we went to feed people. And they've never seen people queuing for food. So that was like, wow, a big opening for them. So they're starting to think, what does my life matter? How am I going to make my life matter when I'm an adult? And my daughter the other day said, Mom, can I go buy a bag of apples? I want to go hand the apples out at Stop Streets and stuff. So, and how am I going to use my business one day to make a difference? So those are the things. I just want to create the awareness in them that they have a responsibility to make the world a better place and to help be part of the solution to solve the big problems in the planet. All I can do, I guess, as a
mum. Yeah, true. So, Hilda, you also are friends with Sir Richard Branson, and you spent some time with him on Necker Island. So I would love to know.
The Necker that was.
The Necker that was. Hilda was telling me last night the Necker that was, and I didn't even know that. So I'd like to touch on that for us, but mostly, he's such a profound human being that's doing such amazing work in this world. And what have you learned from your friendship with him that you'd like to pass on and give back?
So I think from him, and this is probably his biggest, I don't know if anybody know, but the Hurricane Irma blew away the whole of the BVI, and all these islands are gone, like it's disaster. So I think what the first thing is, and a couple of years ago, it burned down and they had to rebuild. So even if in speaking to people that is close to him, is how we overcome challenges and how we overcome setbacks. Immediately, it gives you immediately, okay, this now happened, so what are we going to do about it? And not collapse, or he's immediately, okay, so let's get the architects in, let's start rebuilding, and that gives everybody else around him, like, okay, let's look beyond this disaster that just happened. And he's really a good listener. He will always sit, a lot of people, when you see them, and they always have opinions, and they always want to talk and talk. He's really probably the last one that will talk if there's a group. He will just sit and listen to other people's, what other people's views are, and how he can use their experience in his business, and that I really admire. And every person he speaks to, he makes you feel like he really cares about you, and that is, and I mean, what do you care about? How are you, and what are you doing, and how's it going today, and how's the kids? And it's amazing that someone with his head up there with, I think he's now got 300 or 400 businesses, still can be that humble to really speak to people and really care. And I think that was the big lesson, is it doesn't matter where you are, you can always be kind to everyone around you.
And it's
and be humble.
Yeah. It's interesting because, I mean, you're talking like this now, and it's a lot of things the same people said about Madiba. I mean, he would be the last person to talk in a room. He would sit and he would listen. And at the last point, he would give his opinion and his advice, that real art of really listening. So, thank you. So I'm not going to steal any more question time, because I'm sure a lot of you guys have got questions. So please, if any of you do, put up your hand and please shoot some questions to Hilda.
Here's one here. Is the other? Okay, Jenny, there's one here after.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
Oh, sorry. Hi, sorry. I just want to ask, what would you recommend, or could you just share some of your sacrifices that you had to make and what you would advise the young women wanting to, start their own business, start building their wealth? There's obviously being mothers and wives, there's sacrifices that we have to make. And how did you handle that? Because that's just one thing that always pops up to me. Am I going to be a good mother if I want to start my journey?
So there's two things that springs to mind. Is one, ditch the guilt. I think whose mothers here will know we all deal with guilt, and that doesn't serve your family. So how I did that was I became really present. So when I work, when you're at work, you worry about the kids and, oh God, have I done this and have I done that? And then when you're kids, you make phone calls or you worry about work and I forgot about this and so there's like this muddle and mess where you're not really present everywhere. Put hands up. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely.
Do you get that? So I had to learn, almost compartmentalize my life. When I'm at work, I force myself to think work and be here and get done what needs to be done. And even if it's the 1 or 2 or 3 main things that I need to, that's the thing that's going to make me feel like an achievement. And then when I'm home, I'm there. I don't then make phone, or like certain times, dinner time is their time, it's our time, and that is a habit now, and with that I found the guilt, because when I'm there, they know they have me. And when I'm at work, the people know they have me. The other thing that I think that I want to share is that everything has a price. You have a price of not doing something, and there's a price of doing something. There's a price to achieving success, and there's a price of not of the opposite. You have to understand which one I'm willing to pay, because you're going to pay that price invariably. So I've made the sacrifices where you maybe had to have an au pair when they were younger so that I can work. But now I'm free. I can do whatever I want. I can take them wherever they want. So now we have the life. So you just, and now we're so busy doing other things. So my sacrifices, I don't have time to date or to go out, because this is my fun and these are the things that I love doing. So, but again, it's what's the cost? What's your price that you're willing to pay? And when you decide I'm willing to pay this price, then pay it and go for it, because over time, when you look back over your life, you'll appreciate the fact that you have paid. And for the young ladies in the audience, you're not going to one day wake up at 40 or 50 and suddenly be successful or suddenly be wealthy or even healthy. It's those decisions you do every day of your life of what am I going to do today to make it better for tomorrow. Those are the things that suddenly one day you wake up and, ooh, I've got an awesome life. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
I think there was one more question. Two more questions. Can we do 2 more, Jenny?
So, I would love your advice on getting ideas for a business, because I think a lot of people want to start businesses, and I'm always trolling and doing research, but I'm struggling to find that thing that I really think like lights that fire. Do you have advice for identifying the business if someone does want to start one?
I think find yourself first, and then the business will come. You have to know what you stand for and where you want to make a difference. Just because someone else has a restaurant and making success in restaurants, so find out what it works for you. What is your purpose? That's where you should spend everybody. If you don't know what your purpose on this planet is, that's where you first have to start spending the time. Who am I? Find out what you love to do. You know, those moments when you catch yourself, oh, I would love to do that. Remember those moments. And then become good at the thing that you love to do. So, and then the third thing is figure out the thing that I love to do and that I'm good at, will they pay me for that? And, you know, and that is sort of the journey. So what is that thing that you want to get good at? And what would people pay you? And then how can I create a business around that? I think it's in a nutshell. I mean, this could go on for hours, but this is in a nutshell what I would say.
Jenny?
Yes, there was one
The
here.
young lady, yeah?
Hi. Okay, I just want to be a girl for 2 seconds. You guys look amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I'd just like to ask, what are some common mistakes to expect and be okay with, and mistakes that can be avoided, especially for young women starting out?
Sure. It's that's a difficult one because it all depends on what you set out to do and how much you know about what you set out to do. Common mistakes. I'd rather say I want to rephrase that. Disappointments. I think if you learn to deal with people, because the biggest disappointments will come from people. And so understand people and understand your role in their lives, and that when they want to move on, you know, and they leave you in the lurch with a deadline tomorrow and nobody's there, they just move on. Don't let people destroy you in your journey forward. And destroy is maybe a harsh word, but I mean, those of us that's walked the journey knows what I'm talking about. Am I right?
My next question is, for most young women in their first jobs, making like plus minus 10 to 20K, what advice would you give to invest in property with that much money at your disposal?
Well, it obviously depends on what you have extra. If you have 10 or 20K spending money extra, you work on a budget. So set yourself a budget, stick on your budget, and save some money. I think it's difficult to start becoming a big investor unless you've been a saver. So start putting some money every month away. Make sure, and the really people that's financially successful say you must put that away first and then live with it. So you take 10 or 15% of your, say let's do 10,000. You put your 1,500 and then create your budget on the rest. And then over time, once you've saved 15 or 20 or 100,000 rand, you then invest that. And start small. I think with Wealth Migrate, what's the minimum?
Well, now it's 1,000 rand for the FWJK investment opportunity.
So start small. Everybody always think, oh, I need a huge amount. So start saving and then put your savings into something. And start saving for a rainy day, because stuff also happens and you don't want to then go into your investments and have to exit your real estate because your tire blew on your car type of thing. So it's just become money savvy. So for you at your young age, I think learn the language of money. Learn the energy of money, learn what attracts money, learn the language of money. In your 20s, that's what you need to learn. In your 30s, you start capitalizing on that. And my age, you invest in young people that bring make it happen. Yeah.
Is there any more burning questions? Yes.
not sure if what you mean, sorry?
She said she had the same question.
Oh. So I don't know why you shocking mentored. I actually don't know. I don't have a question to that, but I think women find it difficult to go up to someone else and say, will you mentor me? Or, you know, we're shy or we don't want to. So it's also we need to ask or know what we need to be mentored on and ask. And I have coaches, so sometimes we also don't want to pay. So, you know, so what I do is I have business coaches and life coaches and not, more purpose coach, not a life coach. I got a guy in Canada that coached me on how to live your purpose and your virtues and values and all of that. So it's find those people that can help you on your journey that you need to be helped on, but be clear, because people can only help you what you need help on. So you need to be clear. You can't come to me and say, mentor me, and on what? I don't have, you know, we don't have time, so there's no time. So come with a clarity of, and mentoring you find in conversations with anyone, you can really be a mentor to you. So I think it is ask, but be clear on what you need to be mentored on. And in business, for those that have businesses, what I used to do when I was still operationally involved in business is when we have our year plan and our year strategy, I would then set separate time with myself and say, to have this business or to do what I want to do, who do I need to be? And I need to become that person that deserves this business. And then when I know, okay, I need to increase leadership skills or communication skills or presentation skills or whatever, I then set out and find where am I going to get that? Who's going to teach me to become that? And then the business will follow. A business will only grow to the size of its leader. And go look at most businesses with problems, go look at leaders. Your business stagnate, that leader has stagnated. So business will only, so if you are a business leader or have your own business, you have the responsibility in yourself to keep on growing, because you need to take the people working for you with you. So, I don't know, I'm now
So
talking a
something
lot.
just to add to that, I mean, also look for businesses that it's part of their key focus is growing people. At Wealth Migrate, we've got a head of team and culture. And sometimes when you talk to people and you say, no, speak to our head of team and culture, they're like, what do you mean you've got a head of team and culture? And that is effectively what we do at Wealth Migrate. So it's not about driving leadership up and driving coaching up. It's actually about driving leadership and coaching downwards. And I mean, we've just gone through a whole program of coaching where it's coaching your team members to be coaches to their team members. It's not about this hierarchy structure anymore. It's about how do you empower people all along the line to go downwards, to go downwards, to go downwards, to be better leaders and coaches. Because let's be honest, in the world, we need better leaders and we need better coaches all the time.
Well, and I think once you understand your purpose and what you want to do in your life, you can go look for a company that is aligned with that. It's very often when companies and their people's visions is not aligned, that you're unhappy in your job. But once your vision is aligned with what your company is doing, you can live your life through what you do.
So Hilda, thank you so much. All this insight, you can clearly see we can stand here and talk all day, but people need to have a bathroom break, a cigarette break, a champagne break for some of us. What's the time? So
I just want to quickly, before.
Yes, go.
The world is changing so fast. Where we are now, and I'm spending now a lot of my time traveling to see where's the world going and how's technology going to change, and through abundance and some universities I'm aligned with, you have to, don't think what you know now is going to be relevant in 5 years' time. You have to, most of us need to spend time unlearning what we're doing to relearn and prepare for this new future. They say in South Africa, 47% of jobs are going to be outdated, and if the jobs aren't going to be taken by robots, software will probably be able to do. So that is the challenge of humanity, and in a country where we live, is to be adaptable and to change as fast as change is happening. And if you can only remember this, is go look at what's my old way of thinking, what do I need to unlearn, and how do I, because the opportunities are going to come abound to those that's prepared for it. So go learn, go educate. We do a lot of stuff. The boys are doing a lot of stuff in education, where the world's going in our technology. Become part of
the
community and those conversations, because in there sits the opportunities for everyone here to go forward in the next 5 or 10 years. Thank you. Now I'm going to get off my little soap dish. Thank you, Hilda.